Hi students, welcome to your tutorial of Musetta's Waltz. I just absolutely love this piece and I think you will too. I'm going to play it all the way through one time and then we will go through it note for note and discuss any new concepts or practice ideas. So first here we go all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. So beautiful. Okay, so if we take a close look, we'll see that this song, it's in 3/4. The right hand reaches all the way up to the high C on the treble staff. The left hand will be reaching down to the D on the bass staff. I'm pointing to that right now. But you'll notice some activity here at the end. Looks like it's going lower than the D, but actually that's when your left hand jumps up onto the treble clef. But we do go below the D because there's the C. C at the very end, sorry. So we do go up onto the treble clef for this phrase here. Another couple of new features maybe are these eighth rests. So you'll be coming in on the second half of a beat. So here we come in on the second half of the first beat. Here we come in on the second half of the second beat. We have our hands kind of doing some just contrary motion. Your left hand is moving its own bass line around while your right hand is taking control of the melody. We have some quarter notes to tied eighth notes in the right hand to count. And we have some hand repositioning throughout. So we do move from hand position to hand position. So let's get started. So the first line, your right hand starts on, the pinky is on that C that we talked about. But your thumb, rather than falling naturally on this F, it actually stretches down to this E, and we are not reaching in just steps and skips. We're actually stretching down a full sixth, then up a third between our first finger and our second finger, and then up a fourth. Then we're on a B, and we go down to the same E, up to the same G, but then just up to the B rather than to the C, which we did in the beginning, and then back to the A. All right, so if these notes are new for you, just remember you've got treble G, the space above that would be A, the line above that is B, the space above that is C, and there you have it. So you have your finger numbers written in. You can also rely on these distances, right? Because a skip would be a third, another skip would be a fifth, but we are yet one more step away in this first melodic interval, making it a sixth, okay? So let's just, we're gonna tap our hands for the first phrase all the way up to this dotted half note in the right hand. We're gonna tap our hands and count our eighth note so that we know exactly when that tie lasts until in the right hand, because that happens in both measures and we need to get a handle on that. All right, so 1 and 2 and 3 and together and 2 and 3 and together and 2 and 3 and together and 2 and 3 and. Okay, so we're moving on the and of 2 for each of our melody notes in the right hand, and the left hand kept it nice and simple for us. All right, so now let's put our right hand in position. We're not going to play, but we're going to call out the notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and C and 2, E, G, C, B and 2, E, G, B, A and 2 and 3 and. All right, let's do that again. Or I'm sorry, let's play it this time. 1 and 2 and 3 and C and 2, E, G, C, B and 2, E, G, B, A and 2 and 3 and. All right, great. Let's put in the left hand. So our left hand is on the low C. Oh, how did I miss that? It was the very, very first note. The low C up with our 5th finger. That puts our 2nd finger on this F. 3rd finger is on the E below F that you also play here. We've got our 4th finger on the D. So I'm just checking around, and it looks like for a while we stay in the same hand position in the left hand. So let's go ahead and get oriented with our left hand. Make sure we know who's in charge of which note. So play your C, that's your 5th finger. Your E, that's your 3rd finger. F, 2nd finger. G, that's your thumb. D, 4th finger. F, 2nd finger. G, thumb. E, 3rd finger. C, 5th finger. All right, now we're going to do it a little bit quicker. C, F, D, G, E, G, D, F, C. All right, now let's go through the first line. Let's just speak it. 1 and 2 and 3 and C and 2 and 3 and E and 2 and 3 and F and 2 and E and. Let's play it. 1 and 2 and 3 and E and 2 and 3 and. I think I might have said that wrong. Here we go, and C and 2 and 3 and E and 2 and 3 and F and 2 and E and. All right, so even though the left hand movement is pretty simple in terms of its rhythm, some of these keys might be new to you. Some of the notes on the staff might be new to you. And we really need to rely on your left hand building its muscle memory, having a real confidence with its part because of all the movement that the right hand's going to be doing. Your attention is going to be split. So the more your hands can get comfortable with their parts before you put them together, the better. So now I'm going to play the first line, hands together. And like I said, you could spend a little bit of time playing the right hand over my demonstration right now, then the left hand, and then join me with both hands. Just play the recording over and over again. All right, so here we go. Just the first line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 5 and 5 and 2, 3 and 4 and 2 and 3, 2 and. All right, so what I was doing there was calling out in the areas where you do have 2 fingers, one on each hand, playing at the same time. Sometimes it can be helpful to have those 2 numbers called out to you. So I call 5 and 5. That means left hand 5, right hand 5. 3 and 4. That means left hand 3, right hand 4. So let's do that one more time. I'm going to call them out and then I'll do it once without calling them out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 5 and 5 and 2, 3 and 4, 2 and 3. All right, now without the talking. 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 2 and 2 and. All right, let's look at where that's going. All right, the first note of the second line in the left hand is the fourth finger going down to its D. Let's go ahead and walk through the whole left hand. I'm going to go out of order. The next note, we move up a fourth to our G, back down to our D, and then up one step to our E. All right, so let's play that together. Here we go. D, 2, 3, G, 2, 3, D, 2, 3, E, 2, 3. All right, now let's look at the right hand. So this is where we mentioned we were going to have to come in on the second half of the beat. So let's take a look at the notes first, and we're going to basically speak the notes in time. So I'll count a full measure and then I'll count one beat and then we'll call out the note names in time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. A, B, C, B, A, C, F, F, and F, and rest. G, A, B, A, G, B, E, E, and E, and. All right, so in order to play this, you guys, you have to notice we start with our third finger on A. That's where we started the song. Our fifth finger was on C, our third finger was on A. But halfway through this line, that third finger slides down one note to the G, and that allows us access to all the keys we're going to need. So let's play that line. We oriented our left hand around its hand position. With our right hand, because it's moving so much, we don't really need to memorize as much which finger is in charge of which note because it keeps changing. But each time you move your hand, you do want to take a little assessment so that you can keep your eyes up on the music as much as possible. All right, second line, right hand playing through. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. A, B, C, B, A, C, F, F, and rest. G, A, B, A, G, B, E, E, and E, and. All right, let's do that one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. All right, so now our left hand is ready to join our right hand, but let's just take a look. The first note that the left hand's going to play goes first, and it's going to be with the 4, and then the right hand will come in with the 3. When we get to the second measure, it's 1 and 5. Your left hand's going to play the 1 while your right hand's playing a 5. In the next measure, we go back to the 4 in the left hand, but your third finger's moving in the right hand. And then in the fourth measure, we have third finger in the left hand and 5 finger in the right hand. Okay, so I'll try to call those out, but if you ever need to just go through and just play that might be helpful. Those are just the beats where the hands play together. All right, hands together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Right hand move. And 2 and 3 and 3 and 5 and. All right, let's play the whole first 2 lines. 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1 and 2 and 3. Left hand comes in. All right, we went to the next line where your left hand goes up to a G. All right, so let's go ahead and stick with the left hand one more time. And again, before I go to the right hand. So we have the G, 1, 2, 3, down to C, 2, 3, up to E, 2, 3, and to F for 2. All right, so by now you should be getting used to these symbols in the left hand. You're either finding them because you know the note names, you know which keys those are, you know what letters they are, or you're using the finger numbers that are shared, as well as seeing the distances between the notes, which I know is clearer on your music than it might be on the computer screen. All right, but left hand one more time, third line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. All right, and then you will land on the next line on your 4th finger. Let's go ahead and include that now, 4th finger on D. All right, so let's look at your right hand. So your right hand had just played with the 3rd finger on G, and now we've moved back. 2nd finger is now on G, but don't get too comfortable. You are still going to have to stretch out of that position a little bit. So let's just count and speak the notes in the right hand 3rd line. 1 and 2, G. Oh, I'm sorry, we're just speaking, we're not playing. 1 and 2, G, A, B, C, and 2, E, G, C, B, and 2, E, G, B, A, and 2, and 3, and. So notice we started on the 2nd half of the 2nd beat instead of the 2nd half of the 1st beat. All right, let's play that whole line. Right hand, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. E, G, C, B, and 2. E, G, B, A, and 2, and 3, and. Yeah, so I hope you're finding those stretches where your fingers are going up a 3rd or up a 4th, rather than getting stuck into thinking you should have just a 5-finger pattern. This song definitely takes us beyond the 5-finger pattern. Let's do a tap for this line. I'm going a little out of order. Let's just make sure we have the rhythm down before we try to play both hands at the same time. 3rd line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 the left hand will start the next line there. Okay. All right, so good. Now remember, any layer that we do in this tutorial, you should do over and over and over again until you feel like you've got it down. So if you need to keep tapping, keep tapping. All right, let's go ahead for when you're ready and play the second line, hands together, all the way to this D on the fourth line. Right there. All right, 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1. Okay? All right, so now things get really new. All right? I think what I want to do right now is play all the way to where we are. Just one more recap of what we've done before we add this final and most complicated line. It's not actually that hard. It's just very new and there's some jumping around. All right, so let's play from the beginning. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 2 right there is where your right hand has to reposition again. Now our thumb for this last line is on an A, but we're going to stretch all the way up to a high G, which again, I don't think I mentioned at the beginning of the song. I'm not sure why it didn't jump off the page. I apologize. We're going to go all the way to the G above the staff. So this might be a place where your teacher should help you choose the annotations that would help you. So adding a finger number or maybe a single letter name if it really is necessary because this is such a new part of the staff. But we have an A, a B, a C, a B, an A. Then we jump all the way up to this treble G, then down to the E, the D, the C, and take a look. We'll come back to grab this note, but this is where your left hand is going to come in and take this treble A, down a fourth to the E, E again, to treble G. But then everybody needs to get out of the way because your right hand's coming back down to the D above middle C, and your left hand's going all the way back down. You see the bass clef comes back to the G below middle C, and then your right hand is going to play a middle C for the ending, and your left hand is going to play a C, which we've been playing all throughout, and an E, which we've been playing all throughout. All right, so the only thing I left out was this my right hand jumps up, my left hand just goes up one single note. So it's 3 and 5, E and G. And then while my right hand starts coming down, that's when my left hand's got to get into motion because it has so much to do. And then after it plays its second G, everybody moves to this new position. And check it out, this is C position. My thumb is on C, my pinky is on C. So that should be helpful, even though we're not playing a C to begin with. We're playing a G and a D, then we're playing the C's. All right, so I'm gonna play the whole last line, including this starter note, all right? And we're doing this line a little bit differently because it's so connected. We can't exactly call out the note names and the hands separately. All right, so let's just go through it really slowly a few times. 1 and 2 and 3 and D, A, B, C, B, A, 3 and 5, E, D, C. Here we go. A, E, E, G, G. Let's move to C position. And 1 and 2. And then C's. All right. One more time. 1 and 2. I'm actually going to go to the big piano. You should have your music up. So this might be even cleaner to see. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 5. Here you go, left hand. Moving to C position. All right, I'm going to play the whole song through at a really slow tempo. Play the parts with me you can until you can play both hands together. You can play a line or two, you can play another 2 lines. Just play along with me until you can play the whole song through hands together at this tempo. Then you'll speed it up to a full performance tempo. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 2 All right. I think that I made one fingering mistake. I didn't move my hand when I was supposed to, so then I had to do some scrambling, which we never want to do. I am going to let you guys be the spies there. If you find where Miss Marilyn did not choose the right fingering, you be sure to let your teacher know, because that means that you've been paying really close attention. All right, you guys, thank you for your watching and your hard work, and have some fun.